Welcome to Nabeul, Tunisia on the Mediterranean coast for the 2023 African Championships. And in this session, the focus is on next year's Olympic Games in Paris, where qualification spots are up for grabs. In fact, some of them already claimed. More on that, though, shortly. Conditions looking pretty good. It has been a little blustery out here. The wind not very stable, but you can expect that at a coastal venue. I'm Karen Bashir, and joining me is Brazilian Olympian Bernardo Oliveira. The Olympics are such a big thing, aren't they, Bernardo? You're in the middle of your campaign right now. More on that a bit later. But this very first match we've got coming up is a big one.
That's right. Stakes couldn't be any higher at these African Championships. Olympic quotas in the mixed team up for grabs here. And yeah, just going back to the very beginning, hello to you, Karen. Hello to everybody joining us. We're set up for another session of very exciting archery, and we're starting off with the biggest prize of all, the Olympic quota, the Olympic qualification in the mixed team.
Yeah, gold medal match in the mixed team, our first offering in this session. Beautiful session here as well. The flags flying for the Ivory Coast there, who will feature in the mixed team gold medal match. They go up against Chad, a surprise gold medal match, one that we can't wait for nonetheless. But as you can see, the skies are pretty clear. It's a little bit over 20 degrees Celsius here, but the wind has played its part today, Bernardo. It's been a little gusty, hasn't it?
Indeed, we did see archers struggling a lot with the wind, and conditions are changing quickly. So at any moment, the wind could pick up again and be a decisive factor. And but now all focus on the gold medal and Olympic quota.
Mixed team gold medal match. Please welcome the archer from Côte d'Ivoire and Chad. On target one, representing Côte d'Ivoire, Jumbo Ismail. Frank. On target 2, representing Chad, Alas Mario Martin, Madei Israel. The judge in line, David Zidi from Tunisia.
So here we go. Time to go for gold here. Ivory Coast against Chad in the Recurve mixed team competition. Semi Diombo and Frank Ayeni lining up for the Ivory Coast. Chad have Martin Abefuta and Israel Madai on their lineup. The winner takes a quota spot at Paris 2024. And up to the line first, it's the Ivory Coast. First arrows drifting left for both Diombo and Aini. Oh, that's gone way wide.
2.
We could see her struggling as she was approaching the clicker, just shaking a little bit, struggling just to finish just the final part of the draw, and ended up being too forceful. Côte d'Ivoire, they have a great chance here.
4. Seven.
So Chad in with a chance here.
9.
Two with the first arrow. Martine Abefuta. She looks like she's clipped the 9 there, and that is a remarkable turnaround through the second half of that first set. Looks like the set points have gone with Chad. Bernardo, before we get cracking into the match, because it's so important, let's just do a quick refresher on the points and how they're going to work here.
Absolutely. We have a scoring system similar to what we saw earlier today with the recurve teams, the teams with 3 archers of the same gender. So here teams are looking for a 5 set point victory. They need the 5 set points is the threshold for victory and for gold medal, and more importantly than that, the Olympic qualification. So it seems Chad has won this first set, so they take 2 set points, 2 set point to 0 against Côte d'Ivoire, but again, it's a set system, so everybody starts from 0 in the next set, so it doesn't matter by how many points you lost in the previous set. You just need to outscore the opponent team by a single point to take the set and then get 2 set points.
After the first end, the score 0 for Côte d'Ivoire. Two for the Chad.
So confirmation there that Chad have nicked the first set, 2 set points to 0. And Ivory Coast, or Côte d'Ivoire, as Bernardo said, will shoot first in the second set.
And they've got the support of the crowd. We can hear that, trying to cheer their team on.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, very solid shooting.
Yeah, and IE trying to bounce back straight away.
Israel didn't seem too happy with his shot, but he's 100% within the gold. And that's great stuff in a match like this, consistency.
9.
It looks like Abefuta has shaken off the nerves. Ivory Coast, though, with a 1-point lead at the halfway stage, but that's drifted out left. 5 and a 6 on her second arrow so far.
Yeah, Diombo in the last set, she also shot an arrow in the blue. In that same region, she's making the same mistake.
9.
So a 34 set by Ivory Coast. 38 available to Chad. This would be some start from them.
Oh, could see Israel losing a little bit of tension, and it ended up being a low 8. To be honest, I think that's even pretty good for the mistake he had. And this is what we want, you know, the mistakes to be as close as possible to the center of the target. Great opportunity here.
Well, that's an 8 or a 9. That should be enough.
8, maybe 9.
Enough for a share of the points if it's an 8. Enough for a 4-0 lead if it gets marked up to a 9. And we wait in anticipation for the measure from the target judge. And this is so critical because the winning team here, it's only the winning team in the mixed team competition get a mixed team quota. Now, just to be clear about the quota, it's for the country, not for the 2 athletes that we're watching right now. It could well be that Ivory Coast and Chad select these 2 athletes should they qualify, but it's not guaranteed.
Exactly. So not only you have to win the quota for your country later, however your country decides to do the selection process for the Olympics, it's a whole different story. And once again, we're having a match where everything is being decided on the lines, whether the arrow cut the line or not, and everything being checked with the magnifying glass by the judge down the range. It's very fine margins. Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, they've been struggling a little bit, but still, Chad is like so close. They won the first set by a single point. Now they might be splitting the points. Everything is so close, and why I was saying that Diombo, she was making the same mistake. Sometimes we as archers, we insist on the mistake, you know, and because you want to have the perfect feeling, and then you're not shooting arrows the way you want in the final match. But sometimes it's just a matter of adjusting the sight, you know. Just accept that you're making this mistake today, and as long as you keep on doing it consistently, it'll be in the 10 if you adjust your sight.
And 0 for Côte d'Ivoire, 4 for Chad.
So that 8 was marked up to a 9 for a 35 for Chad, and they are 4 set points to 0 up. And this is one commanding position to be in going into the 3rd set, as the target is 5 points. Ivory Coast need to shoot some big arrows early in this set. Oh, the pressure of Olympic qualification showing on the face of his mate Diombo.
It's a more solid start from the Ivory Coast. Chad has to keep the pressure up. I get a feeling that Israel is struggling a little bit, but news is that he's really consistent, and that this is exactly what you want, that no matter how you shoot your arrows, they're still more or less there in the center of the target. You don't have to be shooting 10s all the time.
9.
And I think that first arrow by Alas was just the nerves, right? After that, she's back at it, so solid in the gold.
Olympic hopes hanging in the balance here. Great finish for a 36 there. Best score so far, but a gettable target for Chad. They can afford 2 9s here, and they'll qualify a mixed team for Paris 2024. There's one of them. Now, Martine Abayfuta. Can she make history for Chad? That's drifted way out into the 6 for a 33. And it looks like Ivory Coast have been given a reprieve here. Chad still leading 4 set points to 2, but the pressure on Martine Abayfuta clear to see.
Yes, it's really tricky to perform a shot in these conditions, you know, even though you try not to think about scores, you try not to think about the outcome, you can't help but get on the shooting line and know that it's all in your hands, you know. It's really tricky. I think in the beginning we saw Martine Abayfuta dealing the pressure, and in this last arrow, definitely. Côte d'Ivoire reacted at the right moment. The reaction came at a perfect moment, and now, but they're still trailing. Like Chad is still in a comfortable situation, so both teams, they just got to focus on their own thing, and it's much easier said than done.
Yeah, much easier said than done. That is such a tricky situation here, because Chad will be shooting second again, and yeah, if it comes down to that final arrow again, it's going to fall again on Martine Abayfuta. However, the teams could change their order, couldn't they?
They could, and you know, if I was the coach, I would tell Israel to shoot the opening arrow and the last one, and then you leave Martine Abayfuta in the middle, because I think that relieves her some of the pressure, and this could prove critical. But let's see how they're going to play it this time.
Set number 4, Ivory Coast fought back in the third, still trail by 4 set points to 2. And Ismay Diombo, the 20-year-old, will start the set.
The wind is picking up. We could see her bowsling waving in the wind, and her arrow landed to the left. It's up to A&E to maybe compensate a little bit.
Oh, he does. He does.
And he looks cold as ice. The guy's shooting really, it's really impressive on such a match, needing a recovery, and he looks really cold. Bad news for Chad. Let's see how they react.
Uh-oh. That is problematic, and he's not happy about that, Israel Madaye. In some respects, it takes the pressure off Martine Abayfuta. Oh, she's gone left as well.
Yes, and I think it's not just the wind. I think they are feeling the pressure. Côte d'Ivoire is managing a very solid reaction here, and things are looking complicated for Chad. But again, easier said than done. They just have to forget about these mistakes. Just accept that very likely this set is over, and they need to come with everything they've got for the shoot-off.
Yeah, if they're feeling pressure now, if it comes down to that mini set shoot-off, oof. And that puts it out of reach. This has got to be a rehearsal now for Madaye and Abayfuta. They know the set's gone, and they know they're going to face a shoot-off here.
Exactly. Just take it as practice. It's a kind of a little warm-up before the one arrow that counts for each archer, the shoot-off.
two high eights. They're in a similar place. So, well, just to conclude on that set, 36 plays 27. Ivory Coast have come from 4-0 down to tie it up at 4 apiece after the 4 regulation sets. And we will have a shoot-off here at the African Championships of 2023 in the mixed team recurve competition for a place at Paris 2024.
And the judges signal.
And now the Chad supporters making themselves heard. The crowd cheering, it can really be a factor. Like sometimes you can really be distracted by your opponents, the crowd and the teammates cheering them on. But wow, it can't be any more dramatic than this, right? The Olympic quota, like everybody has been training so hard for the past 3 years. We're having a shorter Olympic cycle now, but it all can come down to a single arrow. It's yeah, it can't be more dramatic than this. You just gotta keep it simple. Just focus on one thing in your technique, go with it, make it simple, and hope for the best.
So we'll alternate between the archers. Ivory Coast shooting first. Chad have not changed their order. So if it comes down to it, all the pressure is going to land on the shoulders of Chad's Martin Abefuta. First up, though, Ismay Diombo. Shoot off for Paris 2024. Seven to the left again. Room for improvement.
Yeah, she lost a little bit of tension right at the end. I wonder if the wind played a little factor. We could hear it through the microphone. It's an opportunity for Chad.
Oh, a big opportunity, and that could be the difference. What a huge amount of pressure relieved from Martin Abefuta. It's all on Frank Ioni here. A 10 really is the order of the day. Puts it into the 8 for a 15. So a 5, and we'll have a measure. And even so, a 5 would be enough for Chad because they've hit the 10. 5 for a place at Paris 2024. Well, that's not the right target, but the celebrations seem to show that that was a good arrow for Chad. We didn't see it, but it does look from the celebrations from the Chad coach and the athletes that Chad have won this African Championship recurve mixed team gold medal. And with it, there we go. It's an 8. With that championship win, they've taken their place at Paris 2024. Chad with a quota and history being made. Marlies Hurtoy took a place and qualified for the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020, but no man from Chad has ever done the same thing. And whatever the outcome here, whether these two go to Paris 2024 or not, Chad have made history here by qualifying a mixed team for the Olympic Games.
The gold medal.
We see totally different kinds of tears here. It's, yeah, these things happen in sport. The Côte d'Ivoire crying because they've just missed on the qualification for Paris, and Chad crying out of joy because they've managed to qualify 2 athletes into the games. Wow, what a dramatic finish.
2 sides of the same coin. The one of joy with Chad, the one of despair with the Ivory Coast.
Oh, the world has come off their shoulders. What a relief it must be. And for Côte d'Ivoire, sadly, I think it's going to take some time to sink in that they came close, they managed to react, they put the pressure on Chad, but in the very end, they missed it by just a little bit. Frank Hayeni, I think he overcompensated the wind, while Israel Madej, he just got it spot on, and then he made life easier for his teammate, Alas Marie. Wow, it was really, really exciting to watch.
Match having to be decided through a shoot-off for the neutral. What better way to see qualification for Paris 2024 being concluded, and Chad making history with their first man qualified for archery at the Olympic Games in Paris next year.
And an interesting fact I just wanted to bring here, Israel Madej, he's got a scholarship by a program, the Olympic Solidarity. He is a training partner, a training buddy here at the Lausanne, in the World Archery Excellence Center in Lausanne, Switzerland. So the Olympic Solidarity is supporting Chad and supporting Israel in his quest for Paris. And I'm sure he's going to be so relieved to know that he's got the Olympic qualification in the bag. And now, as we were alluding to earlier, he just needs to make sure that he is the guy from Chad going to the games. But yeah, they might take their time to decide who's eventually gonna go to the games. But yeah, just really cool to see the Olympic Solidarity Program bringing rewards for Chad.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Chad then African champions in the Recurve mixed team competition here in Tunisia in 2023, and with it book their place at Paris 2024. I'm sure they're going to get a huge amount of support at the Hôpital des Invalides in Paris next summer. Coming up next, we turn our attention to the individual recurve competition, and we'll go through the semi-finals and bronze and gold medal match in the women's competition. That up next.
ضيوفنا الكرام نحب نرحب بسعادة سفير مصر في تونس شرفنا حضورك أستاذي الغالي والسيد مدير العام الرياضة بتونس السيد مراد ملولي أهلا وسهلا وممثل بلدية نابل مرحبا أستاذي الغالي وممثل مندوبية الجهوية للشباب والرياضة بنابل. The next matches Recurve women playing in the semi-final. Please welcome the coaches and the judge.
Time now for the Recurve Women's semi-finals here at Nabeul 2023. The African Championships taking place on the Mediterranean coast here in Tunisia.
Let's welcome the archers. On target 1, representing Tunisia, Recurve and Walid. On target 2, representing Egypt, Rana Kamel. The line judge, Nabeul from South Africa.
So on target 1 in red, the world number 517, Recurve El Walid, Tokyo Olympian herself at 25 years old, goes up against the world number 630, Rana Kamel from Egypt, a 26 years old. So Tunisia with something to cheer about here, as these two will go over 5 sets for a place in the African Championship finals. And it will be Rana Kamel to shoot first.
9.
3 arrows per archer per set. Scores scored within the set. If you get the higher score, you get 2 points. If you share a draw in a set, it's 1 point each, and the target score is 6 set points for the win.
9. 8.
I believe once again wind conditions have changed today, and we see El Walid shooting to the right. Perhaps in practice she was compensating for the wind and aiming over there to hit the gold, but now that the wind has died out, she's actually hitting where she was aiming before, so she needs to make some adjustments.
9.
Well, Rana Kamel of Egypt taking the first 2 set points. Now, Bernardo, this was all being geared up leading up to this this weekend's finals as the Olympic qualification showdown. But that's not actually the case, is it? Let's talk about women's qualification and what was available here for Paris 2024.
Yeah, sadly for us who are the spectators, we don't get the opportunity to have the Olympic showdown, which was going to be really thrilling, you know, just a continuation of what we've just seen in the Recurve mixed team. But the good thing for the archers is that they managed to clinch everything just yesterday. There are 2 Olympic spots available up for grabs here. A country can only take 1 individual. You don't qualify 2 individuals for the Olympics. You either qualify 1 or a full team, which is 3 people. So because the other semifinal, which we're going to watch shortly, is also Tunisia and Egypt, we only have 2 countries in contention. Only 2 quotas are being disputed. The country can only take 1, so necessarily Tunisia has a spot and Egypt has a spot as well. So here they are fighting for different spots on the podium and the coveted gold medal, but the Olympic qualification has been decided already.
Yeah, so we can focus just on the African Championships, but I want to keep the drama going here, of course, for our spectators. Is it not a case that these individuals, the two from Tunisia, two from Egypt, potentially are shooting for that quota spot? They're one each for their country as we start set number 2.
Yeah, it could be a factor. That's a good point. Maybe the countries, as we explained earlier, the countries, they decide how they're going to allocate the Olympic quotas. They might be using the African Championships as one of the stages in deciding who's eventually going to have that quota to go to the games. So yeah, it's a great point you've made. It's all to play here for these archers.
7, maybe 8. 8, maybe 9.
A little bit of bow kondo there from Kamel. She did it with the first arrow.
6.
Walid losing some tension there again.
9.
That will secure the points, despite there being a couple of arrows up for the measure. There's too big a gap for Rana Kamel, and she will go 4-0 up.
Rana Kamel looking a little bit tense, as it is expected in such a match. These are very challenging conditions for any archer, but she's got a very comfortable lead here, which surprises me a little bit, to be honest. Rihad El Wadi from Tunisia, she led the qualification round by a considerable margin. She was, the class of the field. But I think earlier today in the team matches, we had an underwhelming performance from her. And once again here, I think she's just struggling with her mental game, because the qualification round showed that technique-wise, she is ahead of everyone else. But here we have Rana Kamel from Egypt with a comfortable lead, and El Walid has to react now.
Well, she's going to shoot first, El Walid. 4-0 down, the Tunisian on home soil.
Nine. 7.
Now, does that open the door?
9. 9, maybe 10.
Didn't look happy with that.
Yes, once again losing tension. It's this is something I've felt so many times before. The anxiety builds, and then the last arrow ends up not being so good.
5, maybe 6.
Well, maximum of 22 points to Kamel means that she has conceded the third set here. She will still lead by 4 set points to 2, and there will be a measure, of course. We need to check the official scores, but despite losing that tension under pressure, Rihab El Walid from Tunisia has got herself on the scoreboard. there is no substitution, is there, really, for the pressure that these athletes are under? Put aside Olympic qualification as we can here. This is for a chance at a gold medal at your zonal championships, your continental championships.
Absolutely, it's one of the best opportunities you have to shine. It's actually great to see that they've put up such a nice structure, such a big show, you know, because this serves as a preparation for the Olympic Games, of course, and for the world stages, you know, the World Cups, the World Championships. What we're seeing here, it's a standard that these archers will eventually find at these higher level global competitions. Yeah, this is like super important, and even more so for Rihad El Walid, because she's on her home soil, and who doesn't want to win gold at the Continental Championships, and even better in front of your home crowd. So yeah, it's the stakes are really high here. And, maybe we're seeing the reaction from the Tunisian, but yeah, let's see. And set number 4.
The first, and it will start. Nine. Eight.
A tiny correction there at the end. Not quite so happy with her shot. El Walid seemed to struggle a little bit again. Timing is being the critical thing for her. Especially in the first arrow of the previous set, it was so nice and flowing and fast. This is the shot she needs to find again. She's really been struggling with timing ever since the morning session. She's got the shot there with her. She just needs to execute it now when it matters.
Eight. Nine.
Well, I didn't see anything there that required a measure.
Waiting for the official scoring and judge signal.
Looks like Egypt have booked one place in the Recurve Women's Gold Medal match. And I think you probably heard the target judge there.
Yeah, but I think I saw the line judge kind of, I don't know, letting them know order in which they would shoot. Is it over yet?
We've got 26 place 25, and there is confirmation that Rana Kamal has done this 6-2, and she goes through into the gold medal match. Egypt with one spot in that. Tunisia's Rihab El Walid will come back out here for the bronze medal match, but her time, or her approach at a continental title over, certainly for this year. She'll be looking to get a place on the podium, though. Yeah, an interesting little end to that one, wasn't there, Bernardo? It looked like the line judge was signaling who would go next.
Yes, and both archers were standing kind of like, are we shooting another set? We've had so many close calls here today already in Nabeul. Everything has been so tight, and yeah, it would be no surprise if we had a close call that would determine another set. But yeah, unfortunately for the home crowd, it's game over for the home favorite Recurve Walid, and Rana Kamel upset the top seed and goes on to try to win gold here at the African Championships.
Well, next up, we'll find out who Rana Kamel will be facing in that gold medal match as we prepare for the second Recurve women's semi-final here in Tunisia.
The next match, Recurve women playing for the semi-final. So please welcome the coaches and the judge.
Recurve women's semi-final number 2 about to get underway here at Nabeul 2023 and the African Championships.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the archer and this Recurve women playing on the semi-final. On the target 1, Roua Ben Abdelkader from Tunisia. On the target 2, Ali Jana from Egypt. And the judge, line judges, Hussam Abdel Fattah from Algeria.
Well, the future of African Recurve women's archery right here. Closest to us, Yana Ali from Egypt, the black t-shirt on. Is just 18 years old, and she goes up against Roua Ben Abdel Kader from Tunisia, who's just 16. Winner goes on to shoot for the individual African title. Loser will go into the bronze medal match, and it's Ali from Egypt who'll get us underway.
9. Eight. 9. 9.
Oh, great stuff by Roua. We could see from a distance that she kind of gave up the shot, but then she, on a second thought, knew she didn't have a lot of time, so she just went on and is still shooting the gold. Great effort by her.
9.
But Ali is so solid to begin this match.
8, maybe 9.
Looked to be an 8 there, so the first set points going to Yana Ali. While we wait, they will measure this, but Bernardo, you're in a quest for Olympic qualification yourself. Tell us how that's going and what you're targeting for Paris 2024.
I am indeed. Brazil, we already have one individual quota for both men's and women's. Marcos D'Almeida, he won the quota at the Berlin World Championships. It was the first qualifying event for Paris. And then just a couple of weeks ago, or last week really, Ana Machado from Brazil, she got the individual ticket at the Pan American Games in Santiago, Chile. So now our focus is turned towards qualifying the team, which will have a chance at my Continental Championships, which will be in April in Medellin, Colombia, a city we know well in the circuit. So there, the Pan American champion team will get a team quota for the games, and this is our ultimate goal. We missed on it for Tokyo, which was heartbreaking, and now we're coming strong to try. As I said, Israel Madej, he trains at the World Archery Excellence Center with me. I train here as well. I've been being coached by Coach Mark Dellenbach, and I'm really excited about that. We want to take a team to Paris and, you know, shoot for a medal.
Well, we wish you all the best for that, Bernardo. But let's get our attention back on this match. 2 set points, 2-0, Yana Ali. So Ben Abdelkader of Tunisia shoots first, the 16-year-old. Trying to battle her way back into this one.
9. 10. 9. 9, maybe 10. 9.
Both scoring 27. Ben Abdelkader is provisional. Looked like a 9, that last arrow. But the stadium announcer has called it a potential 10. Target judge has confirmed it's a 10-9-8, and that will be 27 apiece. If that is the case, and they'll share the set points, and Yana Ali still leads 3-1, still leading by 2 set points. And she's shooting very solidly, isn't she?
Indeed, even though she hasn't shot a 10 yet, which Ben Abdelkader has just shot, but Ali, she is so consistent in the gold, and sometimes this is all you need. Like it's really hard when you're shooting up against someone who doesn't miss the 9, who doesn't miss the gold, you know. And but I think the young Tunisian isn't feeling that pressure, and she is kind of the big surprise in the final 4, because she upset seed number 3, and she's having a remarkable performance so far.
Set number 3 starts with a 7 for Ben Abdelkader of Tunisia.
No.
And yet another 9 for the Egyptian. Consistency is key.
No. 10. 9. 10.
So a big opportunity here to go 5-1 up. And that's her best arrow so far. And Bernardo proving the point that as soon as you say something as a commentator, it's bound to be corrected. Ali hadn't shot a 10 up until that set, and she puts one in, sandwiched by the 2 9s for a 28. And if anything, her performance trajectory is going upwards at the moment. She's 5-1 up in this match, and all she needs to do is tie the next set to make it an all-Egyptian African Championship final in the Recurve women's competition. She does look in control and has done from the start.
Yes, I see both archers in control of their own shot routines, to be honest. And I think it's really cool to see that. I don't think they're both battling the nerves, you know. They're just genuinely focused on shooting with arrows. And I think they are showing us the best they can do. And it's just so cool, like to see both of them managing the pressure of a semifinal in a continental championship so well. I think the young Tunisian still has a chance here, but yeah, now is the time to react and react strong. And the Egyptian, yeah, she's looking good to go to the gold final.
Set number 4, Ben Abdelkader fighting back. Starts with a 9. And Ali hasn't been outside the 9s since the very first set. Perhaps the closest arrow outside or close to getting outside the gold.
Seven, maybe 8. Nine. Seven.
So this is an opportunity to make it an all-Egyptian final. Oh, she drifts way out into the 6. And a 24 might just be enough. It's all going to depend on that second arrow from the Tunisian Ben Abdelkader. 16-year-old looking a little pensive there. Remember, Yana Ali just has to tie the score here.
So waiting for the official scoring and the judge signal.
Well, Ali with a 24. And that is confirmation then. A tied score is enough.
Ali winning the semi-final Recurve women.
So a 6-2 win for Yana Ali of Egypt. And Yana Ali will go on to the gold medal match where she'll face her teammate Rana Kamel. Rua Ben Abdelkader from Tunisia will come back out very shortly, in fact, to face her teammate Rihab El Walid for the bronze medal. But it's Yana Ali into the gold medal match here in Tunisia.
So the next match, it's a recurve woman playing on the bronze medal. Please welcome the coaches and the judge.
Medal time now here in Tunisia at the 2023 African Championships. First up, the recurve women's bronze medal match. Athletes just about to come out.
Let's welcome the archers. All these recurve women playing on the bronze medal. On the target one, Rihab Al-Walid from Tunisia, playing against Roua Abdel Qadir from Tunisia. And the line judges, Shormay Hu from South Africa.
So an all-Tunisian affair for bronze here in Tunisia. 16-year-old Roua Ben Abdel Kadir going up against her teammate, 25-year-old Olympian from Tokyo, Rihab Al-Walid. It will be Ben Abdel Kadir to get the match underway. So, Bernardo, early days in this bronze medal match. So I have to ask, coming out straight off the back of a loss, back-to-back matches for the 16-year-old, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I mean that in terms of she's got recent experience of the conditions out there, but also she's just suffered a loss. There's two contrasting factors in there.
Yes, it's very personal how you take it. Me personally, I would prefer, to just shoot straight after, because I think also the nerves are down, you know, kind of like you came to the venue with hopes for a gold medal, and then when you lose the semifinal, and a letdown. Let's see what she can do.
Eight.
Not bad for a rushed arrow. Wow, and Al-Walid is going to be relieved with that one, because again, I think she lost tension right at the end, and again at the third and last arrow, but you know, landed on the gold, and that's good. But just to finish what I was saying before, you come with the hopes for the gold medal, and then of course nobody wants to lose, but since that is not attainable anymore, I think this just relieves the pressure. It just takes off some of the pressure, and then you can just shoot more, you know, more lightly for the bronze medal. And yeah, it's everybody wants to finish with a sweet taste in their mouth, and that would be a win, and consequently the bronze medal.
Got a couple of measures here, though. First arrow from Al-Walid, the second from Ben Abdel Kadir. So confirmed as 25 apiece, 9-6-10 for Al-Walid, 9-8-8 for Ben Abdel Kadir. So the first set points are shared, one apiece.
The second hand, it will start. Eight, maybe nine. 7.
Both drifting away from the middle at the moment. Seems to be a bit of tension in here, Bernardo.
Yes, I'm surprised because I said before, I saw Ben Abdelkader so relaxed and so chilled, but also I think of her last several arrows, they have all landed below the 10 line, and just adjusting her sight a little bit downwards, and yet again below the 10 line, some adjustment will do her good, and that's just what she's done.
Oof.
7.
We got another tied set here. I think we might have. Nothing looked like it needed to go for a measure. So they are pushing this one to the wire by the looks of things. We obviously have to wait for confirmation, but starting to see a little bit of frustration on the face of the 16-year-old now.
Yeah, to me, she is the big surprise of this competition. I think great effort by her to have made it the final four. At such a young age, already shooting for medal at the Her Continental Championships. You know, she can shoot in the U18 category, but here she's shooting with the seniors and doing a great job. But I think maybe her focus is a little bit scattered. She just needs to get her act together, because we've seen Recurve El-Walid struggle all day, honestly, and I think Ben Abdelkader, she's got everything to clinch the bronze medal here.
Score 2 points for each.
So confirmed all square after 2. Yeah, I think you're right. There is an opportunity for the 16-year-old, but it seems to me that El-Walid has sort of found some kind of philosophical approach to this. She's sort of smiling her way through. Sometimes you don't have a great day, but you hang in there. She's still got a chance of a podium at the African Championships.
That's right. That's right. It's very hard, but when you are actually enjoying yourself, this is when you shoot best usually. And El-Walid seems to be doing that, and maybe Ben Abdelkader is just maybe, I don't know, too frustrated, looking things too much on the bad side. And what was that?
Yeah, a bit of Bo Quando there gave away the story of the direction of that arrow, and smiling her way into 10, El-Walid.
Nine. Ten. Nine.
So a good opportunity here to break free, and 3 10s. What a set that's been. A 4-2 lead for Recurve El-Walid, and she is showing her class now.
It is what you said before, Karim. It's the commentator's curse. I think it's already the 3rd or the 4th time that I say something and right after the opposite happens.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
Yeah. But, well, great stuff by El-Walid. No one doubted that she could do just that. And we're seeing very contrasting fortunes here. I thought that Ben Abdelkader had a good chance, but I think Recurve El-Walid, she has woken up, you know. She's coming to the match, she's coming to the competition. Maybe it just took her a little bit too long to, you know, turn on. But yeah, I think she's dialed in.
So after the 3rd and 4 points for Recurve, 2 points for Recurve.
Yeah, it just looks like Recurve El-Walid has released the pressure valve. She's taken all the pressure off herself and got a perfect 30, broken away to a 4-2 lead, and now the pressure is on the 16-year-old Ruwa Ben Abdul Kadir, who'll shoot first at the start of the fourth. Can she do something similar and just take the pressure off herself? We're about to find out.
Then 9, maybe 10. Seven. Ten. Seven.
Perhaps a little over adjustment there. 24 set. 6 for the African bronze. She gets an 8 for a 27, and that will do it. 6-2 victory for Recurve El Walid, showing her experience. The Tokyo 2020 Olympian comes through after a couple of tight sets against the 16-year-old. But what a performance from Ruwa Ben Abdul Kadir, just 16 years old. To make the podium matches here is something, and I'm sure we're going to see more of her. But bronze medal, a place on the podium at the African Championships for Recurve El Walid on the right-hand side there.
So we are waiting for the judge signal. Congratulations!
Part of the formalities, of course. But there is confirmation. Recurve El Walid taking the bronze in the Recurve women's competition. Very nice to see her taking the hand of the 16-year-old and saying, okay, great, well done for making it. You didn't beat me today, but you're going to be back. Ruwa Ben Abdul Kadir taking 4th place in the Recurve women's competition, but it's a podium spot for Recurve El Walid. Recurve women's competition almost concluded. The gold medal still to come.
So the next match was still always Recurve women, but we play on the gold medal. So please welcome the coaches and the judge. And the Recurve women playing on the gold medal.
Coming up now, it's the Recurve women's gold medal match, an all-Egyptian affair at the African Championships here in Tunisia.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the archers. So on the target 1, Rana Kamel from Egypt. On the target 2, Jana Ali from Egypt. On the line, judges Hussam Abdel Fattah from Algeria.
So 2 Egyptians going for gold here in the Recurve women's competition at the 2023 African Championships. Yana Ali will shoot first against compatriot Rana Kamel.
9, maybe 10. 9.
'Seemed a bit twitchy there at the end, but Ali has been so consistent so far. I think we have the 2 most consistent archers shooting very solid this afternoon here, shooting for gold. But Ali maybe showing a little crack in a little chink in the armor there. Yeah, overcompensating in the end.
Opportunity presents itself, but a redraw here. Perhaps the wind playing a part. Well, they match each other 25 apiece, and to some extent, despite there being the opportunity there for Kamel, she might well be happy to have got away with that.
Definitely, she seemed to have struggled quite a lot with that 3rd arrow after letting down, but then you don't have a lot of time. It's only 20 seconds to execute your shot in these alternate shooting conditions. You really don't have a lot of room for, letting down and trying again. But well, so close. Both of them giving each other opportunities. The wind definitely playing a factor again. It's really challenging when it's like the wind is blowing, it's gusty, but then it quiets, it dies down a little bit. So you really have to take it moment by moment, set by set. It's really challenging here for the gold medal final.
The second hand, it restart.
Challenging indeed. Gold medal up for grabs here in the Recurve women's competition. Yana Ali resets at 1 apiece for set number 2.
8.
Some bow kondo over there trying to compensate and put the arrow at the very last moment in the gold.
6.
Just starting to hear that wind hit over the mics in the venue again.
9.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that arrow landed in the gold. Ali losing some tension there in the end, while Kamel in her previous arrow, I think she did the opposite, is still maybe applying too much pressure to kind of resist the drift of the wind. Kind of, it's a common thing when you're trying to hold your arm still because of the wind. You might end up applying too much pressure, and then arrows go high. Let's see whether she finds her way back into the gold.
Far from it, I'm afraid.
1.
That was a tricky set there for Rana Kamel. Yes, good performance from Ali, but that looked very difficult indeed for Kamel. Anything in particular with that last arrow, or did she just let off again?
No, I just saw her struggling overall. As an archer, it's really uncomfortable when like you start the set already with an arrow high up in the blue, and then you're struggling with the sensations and like what to do exactly. Like once again, just for the people who don't shoot and are following us here, shooting an arrow is a very intricate, complex, and detailed set of movements. And so, you know, every little variation can make a huge difference, because after all, the target is 70 meters downrange, and a little change back here in the shooting line, it can become a huge variation down in the target. So it's really hard, but she just needs to find her shot once again. Just try to make it simple, focus on, you know, one aspect, the most important, and just try to find her way back into the gold.
3-1 for Yana Ali, closest to us. So it's Rana Kamel shooting first in set number 3.
8.
It's still high, but this execution seemed more like what she's been doing, especially in the last match. But bad news for her is that Ali is back in the 10, well dialed in.
8. 7.
No, the timing wasn't good with this one again.
Yeah, not going away at all, is it, at the moment? And that is enough for a 5-1 lead and control of this African Championship title match.
Yeah,
you talk, Bernardo.
is...
Sorry, I was just going to say, Bernardo, you talk about picking on one thing in particular. I mean, I'm sort of reading between the lines. You're saying go back to basics if you're in the position that Rana Kamel is in.
Exactly. Go back to the basics. A very common mistake is over-trying. Once again, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but so many times it comes down to this. We see, you know, Ali laser focused over there, and I think she's got her thing going. Like she's in a fairly comfortable position, even though we're seeing her drift a little bit here and there. But I think she's in a more solid position than Kamel. She's really struggling, and yeah, she just needs to, you know, what's the best thing I have in my shot? It's X. Okay, then you just focus on X, because now is the time to react. She needs to win 2 sets if she wants to go to shoot off.
Well, nothing to lose here. Rana Kamel, 5-1 down, shoots first in the 4th set.
7.
You see the calmness at full draw from Yana Ali. Direct comparison with Rana Kamel.
7.
Certainly feeling the pressure now as well. Frustration starting to show. And these aren't the best arrows from Yana Ali, but they are at the moment more than enough. Tries to correct it over the other side, and she just doesn't know what's going on, which is exactly what Bernardo was saying. Struggling to control things. Chance for the title, and another 8 does it. A 24 in the end. Not the most impressive score, in fact her lowest through the match, but the new Recurve Women's Individual African Championship title is with Rana Kamel from Egypt, taking the match over her compatriot, sorry, Yana Ali, I should say, taking over her compatriot Rana Kamel. Well, that's confirmation of Kamel's 22.
Congratulations to Yana Ali for the gold medal.
The 18-year-old.
Congratulations too for Rana Kamel for the silver medal.
Yana Ali from Egypt, 18 years old, taking the African Championship title over her compatriot who was struggling right the way through the competition. But the Recurve Women's African title going to Egypt's Yana Ali. It was a real struggle, Bernardo, wasn't it, for Rana Kamel right from the very start?
Yes, yes. Well, she was way more solid when she. Great achievement by her, eliminating #1 seed, knocking out the home favorite El Walid in the semifinal. But yeah, she just couldn't keep up that same pace against her teammate Ali. And yeah, even though scores were quite underwhelming in the last set, Ali just had to outscore her opponent no matter what she did. And yeah, it's really terrible when you walk away from a final like this, having lost, having shot badly, you know, like when you feel you could have done better. But I'm sure that later on, Kamel is going to be very happy that she just got the silver medal at the African Championships, no doubt about that.
Please welcome the coaches and the judge. And the Recurve man match. So let's welcome the archers. And this Recurve man playing on the semi-final. So on the target one, Potgater Wagner from South Africa. And the target two, Bahdin Ali from Egypt. The judge, the line judges, Thaben Zidi from Tunisia.
Recurve men semi-final #1 here at the African Championships, the last of the disciplines to be decided. Werner Potgater from the Republic of South Africa on target #1 goes up against Egypt's Baha Eldin Ali on target #2. Will be Potgater to shoot first.
Seven. Six.
Well, one left, one right, an indication that the two using those first arrows to sight for the wind.
8.
Perhaps a little overcorrection from Potgater. One left, one right. Can you put this one down the middle? It is in the middle, but it's low for an 8. 23. That's a long hold. He's dropped it into the 8 for 22. So the first set point going to Werner Potgieter. Bernardo, it's time to just quickly brief everyone on where we're at, because Olympic quota's up for grabs here. But again, it's a case of the quotas are already decided, if not the athletes themselves.
Yes, yes. Good news for the teams. And yeah, we were hoping we would see, you know, some fierce battle and close fights here for the Olympic quotas. But it's already decided. The next semifinal we're going to watch up next is going to be an all-Egyptian semifinal. So once again, the individual quotas, a country can only win one. So it means that even if Egypt is first and second, the second quota cannot go to Egypt, so it goes down to South Africa. So Werner, yeah, was very happy, was elated to have qualified his country for the Olympic Games in Paris, and Egypt the same. So we're now just seeing them fighting for the podium spots.
And the continental title, of course, that's up for grabs here. Let's not forget, now that the Olympic places are sorted. Ali starting set number 2, trailing by 2 set points with a 9. His holds are very long at the moment.
They are, and in the team competition, I think we didn't see him taking this long. So I think it was actually good for him, kind of the time pressure that the team dynamic has. And now that he's shooting individual and he's got a little bit more time, I think this is actually being bad for him, because he's taking too long. But there in the gold, making some adjustments. Let's see whether Werner can answer to that.
Eight.
Well, an 8 leaves the door open to share the points, but Potgieter needs a 10 for that to be the case. Oh, gets just what he needs as well. So provisionally sharing the points in the second set. So the South African will still hold his 2-point lead, edging close to the target score of 6. You mentioned that Potgieter said, certainly in his interview after qualification was concluded yesterday, that his sole reason for being here, his sole objective, was to get that Olympic quota spot. Now that he's got it, does it release the pressure and he can just shoot for fun for the African Championship title, or does he have to then step back up again and say, oh, hold on a minute, I'm going for a continental title here?
The score.
Well, he said it himself that qualifying for the games was not the end, it was just the beginning. And yeah, for sure, the guy's aiming for the goal here, for a gold medal here, but so is everyone else. And I think it's like a very tight match. We've seen it today, time and time again. Things swinging back and forth. It's nobody's game until the very end. We are definitely set up for exciting matches here to decide who's the champion.
Set number 3 then, Bahaldeen Ali of Egypt to shoot first.
And now he paid the price for the long hold. It's I see his body drifting forward, kind of leaning forward the longer he holds. So I think it's really not a good idea for him to be taking this long. And added to that, there's the wind. But there's the reaction he needed.
Yeah, that one came out of the bow a lot quicker.
10.
So 26 then for Potgieter. Should be enough for the points in this set, and finds himself in a very commanding position. It's interesting, isn't it, Bernardo, to see the difference between the two, especially towards the end of the draw coming into anchor. It's like a slow finish to full draw and then a quick release from the South African, whereas the Egyptian gets up to full draw relatively quickly and then just sits there holding it.
Yes. This is a very remarkable, a very unique trait of Potgieter's technique. It's just how slow he draws the bow, and then pretty much as soon as he reaches anchor point, that is when the string touches his face and also his hand touches his face, it's kind of like everything's ready, and then he lets go. It's a very interesting approach, and certainly one that has been working and has taken him to the Olympics. Not bad.
Working for him here too at the African Championships of 2023. South African leading 5-1.
Nine.
Yeah, against the back panel there, we can see Ali leaning forward the longer he holds. Werner is kind of giving him an opportunity there, but I think it's too late for Ali. He needs to do better than just kind of match or stay close to Werner Potgieter. Oh, but that's a good one. Put some pressure on the South African.
9-0 for a place in the gold medal match. He drops it into the 8, and you called it. The pressure paying off in the end, and 2 set points of Bahaldeen Ali from Egypt. Subject, obviously, to that confirmation from the target judge, but nothing looked too close for a measure.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any surprises here. I think it looks pretty clear. Now, Werner, he's got a situation that can be quite tricky to handle, which is when you're leading 5-1 and then your opponent manages to react, you really got to stay cool and not let him grow into the match, which Ali might as well do because he finished on a high, finished with an arrow on the X ring. So maybe he's dialed in, and Werner, he'll have to keep his game at the very best if he wants to advance to the gold medal final.
So Bahaldeen Ali from Egypt has fought his way back, still trails by 2 set points, starts set number 5, a must win for him.
Eight.
Timing was better, but just a little bit off. Good news for Werner. Let's see whether he can capitalize on this.
7.
So huge opportunity here for Ali. Just as the wind picks up. Oh, he's got it into the 10. And that's by far his best score in the match. A very quick one from Potgieter, I should say. But he knows that set's gone, and we are going to have a shoot-off in the first Recurve men's individual semi-final. What a turnaround the last two sets have been for the Egyptian. He looked all at sea at 5-1 down, and in the space of 6 arrows has forced a shoot-off single arrow to decide who goes through to the gold medal match. Some resilience, isn't it, from Baha El-Din Ali?
Absolutely, absolutely. He took a little bit long to come into the match. He shot 2 arrows in the blue in the first 3 sets. And yeah, no wonder he was trailing 5-1, but he managed to come back strong. He put the pressure on Werner, and now it all comes down to a single arrow. And I see Ali quite cool, and rightly so. He's got nothing to lose.
Yep, by all rights, he's lucky to be here, or he's fought his way to be here after a slow start. And it will be Werner Potgieter who will shoot his single arrow first for this shoot-off to decide who makes it through to the gold medal match and who will be back out very shortly for the bronze. The unique draw of the South African. Into the X-ring. Low left in the X-ring. This will need to be some arrow. And again, the leaning forwards and the long hold. Did it for Baha El-Din Ali. And in a shoot-off, Werner Potgieter from South Africa goes through to the Recurve men's gold medal match. We'll see Baha El-Din Ali from Egypt back out shortly for the bronze medal match. But that was some comeback from him. He'll be hoping to start that bronze medal match a little bit quicker than he did in the semi-final. But Werner Potgieter from South Africa is through to fight for gold at the African Championships.
Thank you very much.
Semi-final number 1, done and dusted. Potgieter through to the gold medal match. Ali through to the bronze medal match. Coming up next, it's semi-final number 2.
So the second semi-final at the Recurve men. So, please welcome the coaches and the judge for the second semi-final Recurve men. And let's welcome the archers. On the target 1, Mohammed Sharif from Egypt. On the target 2, Yusuf Talba from Egypt 2. On the line judges, Hussein Abdel Fattah from Algeria.
An all-Egyptian affair for the second semi-final in the recurve men's competition. Closest to us, Yusuf Talba in the red t-shirt for Egypt, 22 years old, going up against his 34-year-old teammate wearing the black t-shirt, world number 549, Sheriff Mohammed. Egypt versus Egypt for a place in the final against a South African.
Oh, great stuff by Talba. Wind blew just when he was about to release, but managed to put in a 10. Nonetheless, great stuff.
9.
What a start
10,
indeed.
10. Perfect score.
Took him 3 hours to get into the middle, but a 27 is not a bad score at all, unless you're going up against someone who starts a match with a perfect 30. And again, Bernardo, we've got this contrast of styles. Even though the two athletes are from the same country, it seems to be a pretty quick process for Talba. Gets up into draw, doesn't stay there very long, releases the arrow, whereas Sheriff Mohammed looks a little bit like Ali, who we just saw losing the first semi-final, leaning back in full draw anchor point.
Yes, indeed. Well spotted. And we were talking about the way the Werner Potgieter from South Africa draws the bow so slowly, and Yusuf Talba as well. The way he draws with his hand coming so low, so close to his chest, and then also how he lifts the aim into the gold. Also, these are quite unique features of his technique. But he is a very consistent archer, as you said, alluded to before. Tokyo 2020 Olympian, definitely great quality archer. And even though what he does is not usual, it clearly works for him. And what a start. So 2-0 going to the second set.
Sheriff Mohammed found his way into the center of the target, but having to go through a redraw there, the arrow falling off the rest. So completely resets. 20 seconds, remember, for each arrow.
Oh, he lost a lot of tension there. You could see that after the click, he collapsed a little bit, and that was too much, a miss for him. And Talba still rock solid, just out of the 10. It's a very comfortable position for Talba, and maybe Mohammed just got to take these next two arrows as just a practice for the next set.
Nine, maybe 10.
Oh, great stuff. That's impressive by Mohammed. I know it's like a terrible feeling to shoot a miss, but it's really impressive that in 20 seconds later, he was back in the gold, and that's exactly what he needed.
While you were saying that, there was a redraw for Yusuf Talba. He had room, though. So the 27, which actually is a good recovery from that redraw, means that he does go 4-0 up. So both Archers experiencing a redraw in that second set, but the miss, I mean, you don't see it very often, but as you've alluded to, well, as you've been very clear about, that recovery was something quite special.
Yes, it's very special indeed. And, you know, once again, we are playing under the rules of a set system. So if it was cumulative scoring, this would mean pretty much the end for Mohamed. Like, he would be done in this match. But even though trailing 4-0 is not a comfortable scenario, for sure it's not over for him. Like he can even tie in the third set and he's still going to be in the match. So yeah, very impressive recovery from him, because it can really knock you out of your focus, out of your balance, shooting a miss like that. But he's got everything to make a comeback.
Of this match, Youssef Talba 4 points, Mohamed Sharif 0.
Four 0 up, Youssef Talba finds himself in this all-Egyptian recurve men's semi-final. Sharif Mohamed has to find his way back right now.
10. 9.
It's almost as if that miss didn't happen. Great stuff by Mohamed, very resilient, and putting some pressure on Talba, who is conceding some points there. Mohamed could make a very strong comeback here now.
9.
28 puts it out of reach, and he's on the scoreboard, Sharif Mohamed. Just starting to see a bit of tension creeping in. And when you look back to that first set, 3 10s looked completely solid. It's a different story now for Talba, isn't it?
Yes, and I think he is struggling a little bit, feeling a little bit more tense, and added to that was the wind. We could see the wind blowing so strong. Doesn't make it easier for him. And you know what I was looking here is Sharif Mohamed. His last 8 arrows, they've all been in the gold except for one that was a miss. It's it's really like amazing. Like he's got this streak of arrows in the gold and just one out of the target, literally. But once again, very much alive in this match, and I think even the momentum swinging, which is crazy.
Yeah, it does have a feel that is the case, that the momentum is shifting towards Sharif Mohamed. Still 4-2 down as we go into the 4th set. We're going to get some idea if that momentum is very much shifting to Sharif Mohamed on the left as we look at him.
Mohamed Sharif 4 for Youssef Talba.
Sharif Mohamed to start set number 4.
That one clipped the line.
8, maybe 9.
Oh, and Talba keeps it. He's still struggling. Good news for Sharif Mohamed.
8, maybe 9.
And in general, he just seems so chilled. That miss was really a big blip, but other than that, he seems really chilled, really cool. looking very strong to take this to the 5th set.
Ten.
Shoots one straight down the middle there. But too little too late by the looks of things in this 4th set. And I think there are a couple of arrows there that may well be considered for a measure, but it looks like whatever the outcome, Sheriff Mohammed has done enough to draw things level at 4 set points apiece and push us into a 5th and final regulation set.
He has, most importantly for both archers, but even more important for Yusuf Tolba was finishing in the 10. Both of them finishing strong, but Tolba for sure needed more this reassurance, you know, that he's got it dialed in, like he's got the shot there with him. Only 3 arrows to decide between the 2 teammates who advances to try to stop Werner Poetgieter, who comes as the #1 seed. So theoretically, the guy to beat here for the African title. And yeah, coming down to the wire.
You do have to say that the momentum has definitely shifted towards Sheriff Mohammed.
Absolutely, absolutely. The good thing for Tolba was that he finished with an axe, which is, you know, always good. It's never a bad time to shoot an arrow in the axe ring. But yeah, I just see Mohammed just more chilled, just enjoying himself a little bit more. And maybe because of that strong start, maybe it's kind of weighing on Tolba a little bit, like he's got something to prove. I don't know.
Well, he got the 3 10s at the beginning of the match. Can he find that form again, having shot his 4th 10? He's 8 arrows since his last. Tolba to shoot first in the 5th set.
Wow, but that looked like a twitchy shot, but good for him. It was just outside of the 10 ring, but I think it would be good for him to execute in a more solid way the next 2 arrows.
10.
3rd 10 in a row.
Eight, maybe 9.
Some bow kondo there, like you like to put it, but still in the gold. Tolba needs a 10.
Oh, looks like he's got it as well. $10 to seal the deal. Oh my goodness me! After all of that, where did that arrow come from? Absolutely stunning finish. The wrong way for Sheriff Mohammed. And it was a victory that had to be ground out there. 27, perhaps 28 for Yusuf Tolba to take it in 5 sets. But what a strange finish there, Bernardo.
Yes, no, nobody was expecting that. And if we look at like number of mistakes, Mohammed Sheriff, he made way less mistakes, but they were just more costly. Right in the end, like, this is the moment when you just have to keep it simple, like I was saying before. He just needed to execute a simple, flowing, fast shot. An 8 would go for a shoot-off, we believe. It would have to await confirmation, but a 9 was possible despite the tricky conditions, but a 6, yeah, he's really gonna walk away with a bitter feeling in his mouth.
A confirmation, though, after a very strange end to semi-final number 2, Yusuf Tolba from Egypt through to the gold medal match where he'll face Werner Poetgieter from South Africa. First, though, the bronze medal match coming up, and we'll see Sheriff Mohammed very uncharacteristic 6 after the previous 3 sets. Saw him lose out in the second semi-final. He'll take on his other teammate, Baha El-Din Ali from Egypt for bronze. That match up next.
So the next matches, Recurve men, and they will play for the bronze medal. So please welcome the coaches and the judge.
Up now, the Recurve men's bronze medal match here at the 2023 African Championships.
So let's welcome the archers. So Recurve men playing on the bronze medal. On the target 1, Baha'uddin Ali from Egypt. On the target 2, Mohammed Sharif from Egypt too. The line judges, Hussam al-Din Fadel from Algeria.
So an all-Egyptian matchup for the Recurve men's bronze medal here at the African Championships in Tunisia. Baha El-Din Ali, 21-year-old on target number 1, up against Sharif Mohammed, the 34-year-old on target number 2. And I've got to say, this one is incredibly difficult to call. It'll be Ali of Egypt to get us underway just as the wind starts to pick up. Do you have a gut feel for this one, Bernardo? It was the semi-finals were so strange, both of them in a way.
I stand with you. I don't want to call any result here because I think it could go either way. Unfortunately, it's the match of the two who were ruined for costly mistakes they made before. So definitely could go either way, but yeah, they got to get their act together because it's worth a bronze medal and the last podium step at the Continental Championships.
9.
26 set by Ali.
9.
27 for Mohammed, and the 2 set points. Didn't see anything in particular there that would suggest that that's going to change on the basis of the target judge. But one thing is for sure, these two all of a sudden have picked up their shooting pace. They seem to be going through the process a lot quicker.
Indeed, indeed, which I think is better in the wind. I think it's a good approach. Maybe both of them learning from the mistakes they made in the semifinal. And just the interesting thing I saw over there, we see 2 Egyptian archers who were shooting in the team matches earlier today as agents down there in the target. But I was gonna say in the first place was who's been recently crowned African champion. Yana Ali from Egypt is there as a coach for Ali, the Recurve man from Egypt. There, it's cool to see teammates, you know, supporting each other in different ways in the competition.
0 for Baha'uddin, 2 points for Mohammed Sharif. And the second end of this match. As we start.
So 2-0 lead after one set for Sharif Mohammed. And it'll be Baha Eldin Ali, the 21-year-old, to start set number 2.
8. 10.
Great stuff by Mohammed, despite the wind that we can hear through the mics in the range. And another long hold. Very long this time.
7. 9. 8. 10.
Well, he looks pretty determined now. Sharif Mohammed, 29 out of a possible 30 to go 4-0 up, and he has taken control of this bronze medal match. Bernardo, for those that don't shoot as many arrows as you, which I am one, I don't shoot any arrows. I just watch a lot. What when you get to full draw, you know, we're talking about long holds all the time. For those that perhaps are new to the sport or don't see it as often, what actually is going through the mind of an archer at full draw, holding on? Is it a mental thing? Is there a physical aspect to it?
Definitely both, but I think in a match like this, it's mostly the mental. It's almost a time warp, you know. Sometimes while at anchor, you might be holding for like 3 seconds, but in your mind, it feels like, I don't know, a minute, because so many thoughts can come and go. And archery, it really comes down to confidence. So when you're not confident, when you are, you know, a little bit in doubt about whether the arrow is going to go, how the shot is going, you tend to take longer. Like, this is a very common trait that we see in so many archers, that the more nervous they feel, the more tense they are, they tend to hold longer. And really, shot timing is a very good indicator of confidence. And yeah, just letting go, just trusting the process, it's key in this situation.
Well, Ali finds himself 4-0 down. We saw a couple of long holds in the last set. He starts the third with another long hold. He looked quite calm there, though. Was that a sort of deliberate, I'm holding here for the wind?
It did seem like, I think his shot timing is not quite as fast as Mohammed's. So I think even though that one was a little bit long, I think it was quite similar to his usual shot routine. Just like maybe the one we're seeing now. Still looking solid, but maybe his arm twitching a little bit. But still in the goal. That's good stuff by him. But Mohammed is at it. He's really, really good form now.
Well, he knew that one wasn't quite right.
Maybe 8.
Did it cut the line? That's the big question. Called a 7 provisionally. That's drifted out. Now the measure becomes very important. For a 26 for Sharif Mohammed, the 7, the last arrow, gives Baha Eldin Ali 26 as well. But if that gets marked up to an 8, he's back in the match.
Yes, I get a feeling it's an 8, but like for the a billionth time today, we have to await confirmation. We've had so many close calls here in Nabeul today. It's mind blowing, but it can make a big difference because if they tie and
Also
split
waiting
the set
for the
points, then
official
Mohammed is going to be in a
scoring
very
to be
comfortable
made.
situation because then he's going to have two
The
sets in which he
judge
just needs to
signal.
tie one of them to take the bronze medal, while Ali is going to be in the exact same situation he was in the semifinal against Verne, South Africa, where he has to win the next two sets and then still go for a shoot-off. But let's wait confirmation.
I didn't see an adjustment to Sheriff Mohammed's score, so I think that arrow was marked up. So the 7 getting marked up to an 8, which gives Ali 27 and the 2 set points in the third. He is back in this one. 4-2 down. Baha Eldin Ali of Egypt will shoot first in the fourth set against his compatriot.
Good, solid shot. Wind wasn't blowing strong either. Good for him. And Mohammed may be giving him a little opening there. Oh, look at his arm, taking long. Oh, but he managed to put it in 10. Great stuff.
So he's got himself right back in the match here.
Maybe 9.
Four set points apiece, subject, of course, to confirmation from the target judge. And you can see the camaraderie between the athletes and, in fact, the coaches. The athletes sharing a water bottle. And I don't think that Sheriff Mohammed's coach is actually on the phone on the shooting line. I think he's doing some kind of skit to try and keep his athlete nice and relaxed. We've seen some interesting we've seen some interesting things this season with the coaches, haven't we? Some slightly more controversial than others, but it's all about keeping your athlete nice and relaxed, right?
Indeed, indeed. And they're a level now, 4 set points each. And I've been spared from yet another commentator's curse because earlier in this match, I was about to say that, you know, it's done and dusted. Mohammed has got it. He's so much more solid. But wow, Ali, again, what a comeback. And everything is, any of them could walk away from the shooting line as the bronze medalist.
Yeah, especially today. It's been a really strange day in terms of comebacks. Or near comebacks. Ali starts to fifth high into the 8. That's his worst arrow for a while now. And just like that, Mohammed finds himself back in the middle. Perhaps that technique of the coach doing a little bit of a comedy play in the break has helped him. Another 8, this time on the other side of the center of the target. Big arrow for Ali here. Puts it into the 9 for a 25. So 7 for a shoot-off anymore. And the bronze is with Mohammed. It's a 9 for a 27. And wow, another topsy-turvy match. It looked like Sheriff Mohammed was all over this. After 2 sets, he was 4-0 up, but an amazing fight back from Baha El-Din Ali to level at 4 apiece. And then it just fell apart from him in the 5th and final set. Sheriff Mohammed from Egypt taking the African Championship bronze medal here in 2023. Well, just one more to go here in Nabeul, Tunisia. And that is the Recurve men's gold medal match coming up very shortly.
The winner of this match, Mohammed Sharif. Congratulations for the bronze medal.
Well, it took a while for the confirmation to come through, but the bronze medal does indeed go to Sheriff Mohammed of Egypt, who's beaten his teammate Baha El-Din Ali 6-4. And he will find himself on the podium a little bit later on. But up next, it's the Recurve men's gold medal match.
So the next and the final match, a recurve man playing on the gold medal. So please welcome the coaches and the judge.
Coming up now, the last of the action here in Nabeul 2023. The African Championships taking place on the Mediterranean coast here in Tunisia. And it's time for the Recurve men's gold medal match.
On the Recurve man playing on the gold medal. On the target 1 from South Africa, Werner Potater. On the target 2, Yusuf Talba from Egypt. The line judges, Thabit Zidi from Tunisia.
Well, it's been interesting throughout here in the Recurve medal matches, and certainly in the individual competition. This gold medal match is between Werner Potgieter of South Africa and Yusuf Talba of Egypt, both coming through tricky semi-finals. It's a tough one to call here. Who is going to be the African champion at the end of this match? We're about to find out. Werner Potgieter from South Africa to get the match underway.
Ten.
Both of them showing why they are the ones shooting for gold. Great and solid start here. Oh, and what was that? What a loss of tension. And it's not the first time we see something like this today.
6.
But Talba is struggling a little bit, just the same. but he's in a very comfortable position to open a 2-0 lead here.
9. 10.
Well, it's been a peculiar session here, that is for sure. A 10, a miss, and a 9 for Potgieter. A 10, a 6, and a 10 from Tolba. Again, it comes down to, at the moment, who's making the least worst error.
Yes, and we see the wind blowing so strong. Time and time again, the wind dies out, blows strong. There's so many gusts of wind. But what you were saying before, Karim, about the coach sometimes playing a vital role in, you know, just keeping the nerves down and everything. I think Werner's coach, he's doing exactly that. Even though his athlete had a miss in the first set, they were both laughing and smiling as Werner came off the line. And let's be honest, it's the best thing you can do, you know, because the arrow has been shot already. There's nothing you can do to change that. So all he can do is focus on set number 2 and just come into it with a relaxed attitude, you know.
After the first
And
set
if
of
you
this
know
match,
specifically what's gone wrong, you know, if he knows that he let off the pressure and it was a technical error, it was a process error, in some respects, does that not give you confidence, but it doesn't dent your confidence because you know, oh, I mustn't do that again.
Yes. The worst thing in the world is when you miss and you don't know why. So maybe his clicker came off too soon, like he hadn't really properly anchored. So maybe that was the issue. But yeah, he's very much alive in this match.
Start afresh, 0-0 in the second set. Potgieter out first.
7.
Low 7, but I wonder if that's wind related. He's looking up.
7.
Oh, seemed a bit twitchy there. Matches the score by the South African. And some sight adjustments there.
Eight, maybe 9.
Just outside the wind for sure. Drifting the arrows.
9. 9.
24 could get marked up to a 25. 10 puts this one out of reach. Doesn't matter about the measure now, apart from the scorecard itself for that particular set. But Yusuf Tolba is going to be 4-0 up here, whatever the outcome of the measure for that second arrow for Werner Potgieter. But as you cleverly did, Bernardo, in the bronze medal match, even though Tolba's 4-0 up, I'm not convinced he's going to do this in 3 sets.
Well, it is a cliche, but it's so true here today in Nabeul that anything can happen. It's never over until it's over, you know. We are seeing a lot of weird arrows and a lot of big mistakes and a lot of great shooting as well, which just makes me bewildered. You know, we see the guys shooting 10 10 10 and then all of a sudden a miss and an arrow in the blue and everything. So it's been really unpredictable here today in Nabeul.
Second end of this match.
Well, now that we've both said it, for sure it's going to happen, and it's going to be done and dusted in 3 sets. Yusuf Tolba leading 4-0 over Werner Potgieter. The South African will shoot first in the 3rd set. We need to see him put down some pressure if he's going to stay in this match.
Solid shooting by Werner, and the nod he made just shows that he's feeling confident about the process. And Tolba conceding even more points to the South African.
Yeah,
he can clinch early.
Yeah, 8 to get on the scorecard here. And of course, he puts it up into the 7 and opens the door. And he puts it into the 10. This is, again, another fascinating matchup. 5-1, you'd certainly want to be in the Egyptian shoes here. Yusuf Tolba just 1 away from claiming the African title here in Nabeul. But 2 very good arrows from Werner Potgieter. And you thought, well, he's got this now after 2 8s from Tolba. And all of a sudden, he pops it into the 7. There's just, you've said it a number of times, it's the consistency that is the key here. And no athlete through any of the individual matches we've seen here in this session has been consistent right the way through.
Yes, that's right. It's been really both of these archers, they didn't have an easy time making it into the gold medal final. And now, even though Yusuf Tolba has a very comfortable lead of 5-1, by no means he's guaranteed to win this match, because we know Werner could make a comeback. We know Yusuf Tolba could maybe drop a couple of points here and there. Let's see. Start of set number 4.
The lead for Yusuf Tolba from Egypt. Werner Potgieter has got himself on the scoreboard, but now this is a must-win set for the South African.
7, maybe 8.
I wonder if it's an 8 or a 7. We saw some sight adjustment. Might be a little too late for him to react. Tolba capitalizing.
This is a critical arrow. So a 25 potentially set for Potgieter. Quick arrow into the 9 for a 26. And that will do it. Whatever the outcome of the measure, Yusuf Tolba has taken the Recurve Men's African Championship title here in Tunisia in 2023. A very happy coach. Job number 1 complete from Werner Potgieter to get the Olympic quota space for South Africa. Couldn't quite cross the line in the end, has to settle for the silver medal at the African Championships, because that man there, Yusuf Tolba, in the end did enough to confirm the Recurve Men's African title and the gold medal here in Tunisia.
Paris Olympic Games, and also congratulations to Werner winning the silver medal and booking the second place for South Africa in the Olympics. Congratulations for this good match. And in a few minutes, we will start the awarding ceremony.
Bernardo, fascinating afternoon. We were looking at multiple errors and a lack of consistency, but it just added to the drama, didn't it?
It did, but on the other hand, it also shows a lot of resiliency by all of these archers. It was a great effort by everyone and very entertaining for us who are following all the action. Even though we didn't see Olympic quotas being disputed, it was really fun to see how everybody would finish up and get the podium slots. And with Egypt, the happiest nation, with 2 individual champions in the recurve category.
Yeah, brilliant stuff throughout. We've seen in the Recurve men's competition, Egypt with 3 in the semi-finals, 2 on the podium, Sheriff Mohammed collecting the bronze medal, and then a fascinating final between Yusuf Tolba of Egypt and Werner Potgieter of the Republic of South Africa. in the end, Potgieter being outdone in 4 sets, 7-1. Yusuf Tolba of Egypt, the new African champion here in Tunisia to conclude the action. It has been a fascinating day of medals here. Olympic qualification included as well. Chad making history, claiming the recurve mixed team quota spot here earlier in the session. As always, thanks to Bernardo Oliveira, a Brazilian, on his quest to make Paris 2024 himself, and we wish him luck. And as we see out the end of the match here, Yusuf Tolba of Egypt collecting the last of the titles here at the African Championships in Tunisia. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.